And we're calling this one Reconnect. I know it's been a while since we've been online and on the airwaves for you guys to listen to or watch, but we found it a good time to reconnect. We down here in San Antonio. Eric's here, Brian's here, I'm here. We're here for your enjoyment. Is everybody doing? Brian, how are you doing? We haven't seen you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, I think we need to start the old tradition of first things first.
Oh yeah, no, we got to crack some beers here. Hang on a second here. It's a good idea, Brian.
That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes I get right into it. Over here we're drinking Squirt Gun.
Yeah. And I've got a red beer.
And I have
Interesting. Is that a
Glacial
local
Till
drink there?
Craft Cider, Passion Pineapple Cider.
Ooh,
delicious.
pineapple cider. That sounds delicious. Yes, this is a local beer, Brian. This is by Real Ale Brewing Company out of Texas. I'm not sure where in Texas it's from, but it's an IPA and it's a 6%er. But yeah, this came in a 4-pack. Came in a 12-pack, 4 different kinds in the 12-pack from Texas. So I figured it's fitting to drink Texas beer while doing a show from Texas.
win in Texas?
Win in
sure.
Texas. I don't
I
think
moved
that's
my
a safe.
microphone.
I
to see
thought-
if that helps.
I thought the beers would be bigger down here too.
Well, cheers,
Well,
Brian.
oh yeah, I should. Well, hold on. I should grab. So. Old Smoke by a 6-pack of 4-pack of this. It's a
Nice.
Scotch ale, but it's a light.
Scotch, I think of liquor. So how
I'm just
No,
kidding. It's,
aged in Scotch barrels.
aged in
Yeah,
Scotch
I think
barrels?
that has something
so the
to do with
beer?
it, which I I don't think that might not be accurate just because of the alcohol content in it is so low. You have to have a higher alcohol content to age in barrels. So I don't know.
Anyway, cheers. Let's drink to that.
Okay.
Cheers.
Oh, there we go. Now I have my invisible glass.
Your invisible glass with a cool background.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brian, bummer that you were unable to come with us, but glad we were able to connect here on this show. What have you been up to? You've probably been working, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But did you get some time off at
working.
least?
I had the last day and a half off. I took a half day today and a full day yesterday, so I'll be taking some time off coming up. Or
Last time we
Well, yeah, but Eric wasn't in Minnesota
Oh,
with
you
us.
guys were though.
yeah,
correct.
we didn't really have the ability to pipe people in.
Not
Back
that,
then.
That was early on.
That was 2 years ago. No, was that 2 years ago? Off my.
Everybody
so-
was doing it.
But no, the drive down was
Gotcha.
good. We ran into some rain, a little bit of rain.
Rain. We ran into like crazy tornado thunderstorms.
Maybe we were sleeping.
Yikes.
when that
We
happened?
were ahead of you guys.
By a
we,
bit.
we ended up having to stop and pull over at a gas station and kind of reevaluate where the storm was because we were right in the middle of it, and the worst of it was underneath us. So it was like either stay there and get the back end of it, or just take our chances and try and drive straight through and make it out the bottom. And when we first started going through it. everywhere. It was
It was pretty wicked.
it was green. Pop up like 12 times in the last month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're just gonna roll with it right now.
I don't know where that's at. I need to,
A
I guess,
reoccurring theme.
read into that and all that stuff. No, on our way down, we made a stop. Where did we stop at, Dad?
Denton.
Oh, in Dallas. Well, we stopped in Norman. We spent the night in Norman
There we go.
and ate at the Crawfish Pot.
Oh yeah,
That was good.
that was super good. They I got the crab legs. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You could have left that.
they- I ordered it with some.
I got the crawfish etouffee, and Mom decided to get the same thing, and she asked the waiter. She said, "Is it?"
Well, and last place called the Barn Door.
Oh, mad
Yeah.
props to the.
Good.
Treat.
It's always an adventure when you go to a steakhouse outside Nebraska.
Right.
But they didn't
They-
really
they s-
disappoint.
Yeah.
Very
they
down
rose up.
home cooking, large portions, lots of good seasoning. I legit bought a quart of their ranch dressing that was homemade.
They had a ton of red beer for your dad.
Yes, a good wine selection there. I was very impressed with the wine selection.
Yes, good steaks. I had a ribeye. It was delicious. Yeah, props to the Barn Door and Meat Market.
Didn't they just open? Like they had just
Yeah, they said
recently opened.
they'd open back up on the 19th.
Yeah.
But they've been open since 1953.
But no, it was really nice. It's with it in walking distance. Like literally, you could just throw a football at the thing. It's just right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice. I wish
Oh, I
Brian
don't
would've been
know.
here.
Being
Oh,
on
I was talking
vacation?
with Mom, and she.
'70s grenade.
Oh, it's a growler. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Nice.
There we go.
Easy.
It looked like a heart, like an actual
Yeah.
drawing of a heart. No, not
There
a
it
heart,
is.
not a shape of a heart, but like legit the heart that is in your chest.
Oh,
you-
the anatomical heart.
Yes, that's the word.
Okay.
There
Okay.
we go.
This squirt gun,
Very cool.
It's good.
Very
It's-
good.
It's smooth.
very smooth squirt gun
Yeah.
style.
So yeah, tell me about the beers down there. What you guys got going on?
Well,
What's
yeah,
the-
what was the one we really loved?
Oh,
Expatriate?
I want you to talk about the one you're drinking
Expatriate.
currently.
Yeah.
The one I'm drinking currently right now, Squirt Gun, Juicy IPA 6.0 from Real Ale Brewing.
Blanco, Texas.
Blanco.
It doesn't exist. It's Blanco.
Blanco.
Yeah. Kind of like your background, Blanco.
No, this is total.
It's pretty good.
Instant message us if you'd like to get some.
You can even use some fun markers. And
We did
on it to decorate it.
We did have part of the rotating
Oh,
IPA.
Good, because it's the year I was born.
Bingo.
Yeah, I actually have don't have doubles of anything. I have a lot of singles in here to try out. So there's a new place in Omaha that just opened up, Wine, Beer, and Spirits on 144th and Center. And the old
Was
Toys
this the
R
one you were
Us
telling about
is
the other day?
quite fantastic.
You were telling me about this the other
Yeah.
day, weren't
I
you?
was telling you about it the other
Yeah.
day too.
It's the biggest warehouse, wholesale warehouse for liquor in like what, 500 square miles or something.
I need to go check that out.
Dad's gonna get his
Crazy.
Father's Day present there from
Well,
me.
so I brought Dad a bottle of wine that we shared, the rye barrel aged Cabernet.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
yeah, very interesting. Whole lot of stuff going on with that.
Yeah, they don't have gift cards yet. Apparently, they ordered them about a month ago and they still haven't come in. I'm like,
Where's this located at?
old Toys
the
R
old
Us.
Toys R Us by
Next
Oakview.
to Oakview.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
And the prices are awesome.
Huge.
I mean, even if it's a fee up saving a ton, like if you get a lot
Well, and
of
their selection. I've never. It's the largest selection. It's not fancy, but it's not warehouse style.
That was the first thing Erica
So-
said about the place. I walked in
Yeah.
and I saw I could order a drink and go buy drinks.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
My only negative about it would be the cooler selection. They have a small cooler. Yeah, and they have a lot of the generic, like the Budweiser, Bud Light, Coors Light is in there, and they have some craft beer in there, but most of the craft beer selection is outside of the cooler. So it's, if you want something to take home and drink right away, you're pretty limited. But
Yeah.
if you're okay with just picking it up and put it in your fridge and drink it, in a few hours or a day from now, it's perfect.
Well, it's weird because they even had like Fireball in the cooler. And it's like,
Yeah, I'm sure they rotate that out.
Filling
So
space.
actually, one of the beers, probably my next one, is going to be one that I got from the cooler there.
now do they they had a few single beers in the cooler? Did they have single beers outside of the cooler? Because I noticed
did,
they
and
had
that's-
like
that's
4
actually-
and 6 packs.
Yeah, so that's actually what I ended up doing is I bought one 6-pack, and I'll show that here in a little bit. But all the rest of the beer that I bought there was all single beer.
Okay.
Oh, so they got like make your own mixed 6-packs and stuff.
Have every and it's all in categories and 4 all types of wine. In there as well. So it's a pretty cool setup. It's a little confusing once you walk in, but once you kind of get the gist of it, it all makes sense.
Nice.
So, and there's a lot of stuff there that I've never even seen before. So it's definitely give yourself a little bit of time to go kind of shop around in there and see what
Right.
you can find.
Speaking of places to check out, we did the Riverwalk yesterday. Went
was
and walked
fun.
down there downtown. Brian, I don't know if you've
I guess
ever.
you should quantify. I guess you should quantify because we are bouncing between locations.
Yes,
were
we
just
are.
Talking about Omaha. Now you're talking about down.
San Antonio. San Antonio.
Yes.
Yeah,
San
San
Antone.
Antone.
We went down to the Riverwalk and walked around for a little while. We popped into an ice cream shop down there. We went and saw the Alamo, and unfortunately, the Alamo is closed.
Yeah,
Um,
I had read up on that.
So some people, I guess, defamed it a little bit, did some
Well, they
graffiti
were
on it.
worried about
Well,
that.
yeah. They when COVID hit, they closed stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, but we could at least see it.
We got to see it.
and just
Absolutely.
be
Yeah, but it was nice. We met a lady down there that's a reporter for the Republic Journal, Republican
Conservative
Journal?
Review, I thought it
Conservative
was.
Review, something like that. And she was really knowledgeable on the situation, on getting stuff that's happening right now, which
Yeah.
is kind of a bummer. Here, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
there
and-
was a lot of decisions that went into that.
Yes.
Well, and Texas was very lifted in a sense with a lot of their rules and regulations with all of the COVID stuff happening. And then they spiked recently, and so they went back to having to wear masks into, all of the locations publicly. So,
So it is required when you're outside.
So
A mask.
Yeah.
when Erica got in on Sunday, they went to the grocery store and they didn't have to wear their mask. But then Mom and I
Starting
went to the store what was it,
Monday.
Monday, and we had to wear them. So
I think it just depended on the time of day and
Yeah.
who was standing at the door.
They just thought you guys look a little sick.
yeah, right. Can we come in?
Yeah.
Sir, you're drooling from the mouth.
But I mean, like last night we went out to the restaurant and it did. No.
We were contained in kind of our own little space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like
We
every-
were self-contained.
even when we went into the ice cream shop, we had to put our masks on.
Yeah.
If we went into like the Rainforest Cafe to use the restroom, we had to put our masks on. So if you were going inside of a location, you had to put your mask on.
Yeah.
So they said that had all changed within the last week.
Where did we stop? Where were we going to go into? What was that museum that we were going to go
Oh,
to?
Texas
the
Ranger.
Texas Ranger Museum.
We were going to go. They must have really nice artifacts in there for the price of admission that they're charging.
Yeah, I mean, this building was like a 2-story, kind of like an old hotel-style building with a bar downstairs, and you could see upstairs. But
The price of admission was.
They wanted an arm and a leg.
It wasn't that bad.
We decided to forego that.
Yeah. We all could have gone to World of Fun for the day.
No.
Almost.
Whatever.
Close to it.
Well, the fun's not open.
It isn't. You're right. How are you doing, Brian?
Good. I'm good. I'm enjoying just sitting for a little bit, which is
What have you been up to?
rare.
Yeah, it
So-
seems like working a
Oh.
lot.
moving. They're gonna- Two weeks while they quarantine, and then once that's over, she would know, and they don't.
Supposed to start preschool in the fall, and I said, if person could just give me a curriculum and I could teach them myself at home.
Had kids, they know that when they go get all the stuff. I think that teachers and the administration is very aware of that, because if a case were to come into the school, it would spread like wildfire. And what if the teacher gets it? What if the substitute gets it? What if a kid in the class gets it? What if all the kids in the class get it? So it's, there's really no good scenarios right now.
Yeah.
So, but they're trying to plan as best they can for him, but unfortunately, there's just so many question marks right now.
I saw something online where just and like using two PVC piping to hold it all together so that they could just put two desks kind of close to each other, and then there's this big
Pads out all the
bubbles. Just walking down the hallway, bumping into each
Oh,
other.
like bubbles, like a bubble
Yes.
gun? No, no,
No,
no.
not
Well,
the same thing.
And I feel like
Yeah,
at that point
we've got
they're gonna have
a bond issue right now.
right.
Yeah.
We got to pay for the bubbles.
Well, and I feel like at that point they're gonna have more socialization going back to the e-learning and having like the Zoom sessions than they would actually being together in school if they're separated like that.
And our girls have done that, and they're actually still doing camps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right now, where they sorry, I just
You're
had a
still coming
notification
across,
play.
Brian.
Okay, well, it's a sleep timer on my the hours, so hopefully this doesn't shut down on me. so
Looked
we'll
like
see.
you might have dozed
But,
off on us.
Yeah. Well, I am.
That's true.
Anyway, the girls, they've been doing camps. They're big into theater and all that, and so the e-learning thing for girls during the school year, they actually really enjoyed it because they could go to their meetings and they were done by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. and it
Sounds like they're
wasn't
prepping
every
them for
day.
work already.
Yeah.
I had morning meetings and then
Yeah, right. Well, so there was a Saturday that I was home, which was rare, and I'm sitting there in the kitchen having coffee, and one of my girls comes in there and like, man, that Zoom meeting was brutal. I'm like, when did you be coming to? Did you want some coffee? What I mean, what?
Yeah.
yeah, I like it black. No sugar.
Well, and it was nice because it wasn't every day either. I
Yeah.
mean, they had 3 days a week where they were doing Zoom meetings,
Right.
so you had to be like in front of the computer at that time. And the other 2 days they were just doing, random assignments here and there that the teachers sent out. So it's not like they were glued to
And-
their computer 5 days a
Well,
week.
It was kind of by the teacher, by the district type thing too, because like Ryan's boy Junior, he was telling me about how they had to be on Zoom from here to here, and while you're there, you had to have your camera on.
Well,
and,
yeah.
and
so-
it's like, hold up though. His mom was like, "You're not gonna. Here I am. I'm here." And then
well, no, that's so they know that you're there and paying attention
Yeah.
to the class.
Yeah. It just
And
Different
so
than them sitting in a classroom.
'Cause
They're
they're at-
being
'cause they're
sitting
at
in
home.
a classroom.
'Cause
So
they're at home.
that's why you have them sit in a designated area to do schoolwork.
right. No, I'm just throwing another angle out there. That's all.
No, I know.
very
But
true.
but the background would be school,
Yeah.
not your home.
Not your home, not your kitchen, where your mom might have her business. You know.
So then do it somewhere where you are against
No,
a
I-
wall.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. I get both. I'm just pointing out. There's
So there-
difficulties involved.
There's a
Go ahead, Brian.
there was a Con Ed that I did, a continuing education class that I did, and 2-day thing to get a lot of Con Ed, and the Zoom meeting, nobody's cameras were on. It was only the presenters' cameras that were on. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever, they would ask a question and you would have to respond. And that's how they kind of took attendance and made sure that people were paying attention and all
Still
that.
awake.
Because it was right, exactly. Because
Yep.
it was like I think you got 8 hours of per day over 2 days.
Yeah.
So they wanted to really make sure that you were paying
You're
attention.
gonna earn it.
And it was in four
Billy,
different
what's your
sessions
last
over 2
name?
days.
Billy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was
Billy.
a random question. Like it wasn't. It may have something to do with what they're talking about, or it may just be a random
And Tony, if you're watching, what's up, dude?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. This one's fun. This is the one that I was talking to you about earlier that I actually found in the cooler at
I don't remember seeing
the
that
Wine,
one.
Beer, and Spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Belching Beaver. Hazer's gonna haze.
Ooh.
So
Haze is gonna haze, man. And all the beavers on the can are like looking like they're hazing the beavers.
Yeah,
it's tough to see.
It's an IPA. I like this one right here. This little graffiti tag here.
Damn good times.
Damn, beaver
'Cause they're
damn.
beavers. Kid.
But
Yeah, play on words
What's the percentage on that, Brian?
I'm looking for it right now, actually.
at 4%.
Creek water.
Hazy IPA. Just barely.
I did get the full pint cans, but we don't have them on the show. We've got what did does look
that
good.
looks hazy.
I didn't bring glasses out here.
When it's not invisible.
Yeah.
We're kind of out on a, what would you call this? A bungalow?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
It's
Can you read it?
cabana.
A cabana. Yeah,
Cabana.
we're in a cabana. Hey, drink talk. There you go. So decided to go against
The time. Very
you
light.
You have to,
light.
it's so light
Look
I
at
can
that.
see right
Wow,
through
that
it.
is like, oh,
It's
there
like
it is.
0-calorie beer.
Yeah.
No, that's an 8%er, isn't it?
For those of you that are going to listen to this later, I have a background that says Drink Talk, but it's a digital background. It's not the actual background, and so every once in a while things disappear because
Yeah.
it's
Like your head,
Like
your
you're sitting in
arm.
front of a green screen.
Right.
yeah. Well, I kind of am really. I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Opener. I'm gonna figure that one out.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I bet there's one out here.
I bet you there's a way we can do this.
There's,
I mean,
And I'm going with the Joel Gott red wine.
oh boy.
Ooh.
say I bet-
Oh, fancy. Twice tonight, dude.
Well, that took the cap off and part of the
bet you
top
part
of
Part
the bottle.
Yep.
Just-
The bottle opener.
It's all good. Hopefully he filters
Okay.
that.
Now he's gone. We can talk about him.
Anything. Just spit it out.
So, what do you guys really think?
It's all good.
Oh, family, love it.
That breeze can
Love
come
it.
back anytime.
It's nice
Yeah.
to reconnect.
You know, I watched inside
Yeah.
and I was like, ooh.
So, is it?
Yes.
Looking in on you guys behind you, is that completely open into the pool, or is it
Yes.
actually?
Yep.
That's
We're-
a that's a landing zone for
We're
the
in a-
mosquitoes.
We're in a cabana.
You have a malaria pond back there? Is that what it is?
It's actually a pretty nice pool.
It is very
Did you
nice.
throw it away?
No, I just put it in the fridge, but you might want to
Filter
run
it?
and filter it. Yeah, you might want to do that. But it's in the
Really?
fridge.
Maybe with broken glass? Not a bad idea. Yeah.
No, most of it was up in the cap still.
Most of it.
Most
That
all
we
of it.
know of. Are we sure there's
Oh
one
yeah,
to
Eric
try?
Clinky's from Omaha.
Eric
Clinkies.
Clinkies.
Ooh, I kind of this one.
This one's bad.
Have you
This
ever
one's a
tried
little
this?
bit
I'm
fresher.
gonna tell you what this real ale brewing is.
wanna try
They're
it?
doing pretty good.
They're on
I got
point so
this.
far. 2 for
I'm
2.
Do you like root beer?
Mm-hmm.
2 for 2.
You
It just tastes fresher.
A little
Mine's
heavier than last beer too. 6.6, and the
yeah.
other one was 6.2 or 6 something.
I don't remember. I
Then-
threw them away.
FYI, not your father's root beer is 5.9%.
Hey, that was actually not half bad. I
It
had
tastes
a
like
little-
root beer.
Those are so dangerously good.
They
I
have
know.
they have so many
Yes.
different flavors too.
Dangerously good.
Really?
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 different flavors. in
Yeah,
it.
they have
Wow.
like
They
a
have
cream
soda. Jinx.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Jinx, you owe me cream soda.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Sweet. Maybe 2. Or
Yes.
12.
I'll have to look for that last time. No, but I got this at the beer, wine, and spirit place for like $7.99 for a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Or
You care enough to spend the very most.
that's only like $1.30
I'm-
a thing.
Doug Laney's watching.
Yeah. Good, quick math.
Hey, Dougie.
What's up, Doug?
Hey, Doug. I
I got it going on my phone over
a
here.
little bit ago. Yeah.
Oh, I meant to grab my phone when I went inside.
Yeah. My computer has told me many of times that I should stop and restart and put this in 480 or 10. Yeah.
Nah.
I'm like, nah, I'll just keep going. My countdown clock is still going, and worst case scenario, I can
I'm
re-upload
gonna go
this
share
because it saves onto the hard drive of the camera. Worst case scenario, we still have a full live feed without any interruptions.
Later.
But anyway, I kind of want to get back to the talk of COVID. Go ahead.
Sure, I just there's something I wanted to bring up. So we have a mutual friend that actually has been on the podcast a few times that has his own podcast.
Boys, that's nice.
I helped him move back into town, and he's got a little studio set up, and he's got some stuff that he's working on, and I think Brett and I are going to be doing a collaboration with.
You know that happened.
Break those rules a little bit.
And I think there's a huge divide in people in Omaha. It depends on where you live in Omaha. You've got the people, like, you can go to one part of the city and you walk in the store and almost everybody's wearing masks and they look at you sideways if you're not. And then on the other part of the city, you go in and nobody's wearing masks and they look at you funny if you're wearing one. So it's so all over the map in Omaha, so to speak. Slight pun intended. But I think that we're doing fairly okay here. The numbers are so weird, and it's hard to. I don't want to get into all that in this talk. I wanna keep it pretty light.
That
So-
can
Are
get
we
deep.
still
That
talking
can get
about
deep
COVID?
quick.
A little bit.
Well,
I
we were
mean,
talking about the wrong way down, or the one-way aisles at the grocery
Yeah.
store. And
Yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
Fire Department Chronicles. It's this little Instagram thing I follow, and he made a video of him back in the, like, he goes to the aisle and then he just backs up down the aisle,
Goes backwards
goes
down the aisle.
backwards down the aisle so he can go the right way.
It's one way to do it, I guess.
Fun. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
If nobody's in the aisle, I guess.
Loophole.
You just go backwards down the aisle. No, I'm going forwards. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was here. I had to back up a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I've always been in this aisle. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't
think
been
your
paying
mind just
attention to
rewinded.
those at all.
Your
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Every
Well,
time
not every
I've
store
gone-
has those.
Well, no, just Hy-Vee did, and every time I went up there was people walking down the wrong way, and I was like, well, okay, I guess they don't apply anymore. I don't know.
And Hy-Vee's a grocery store for those of you that don't know.
If you don't know what Hy-Vee is,
Well, I
They
mean,
don't live in
we
Nebraska.
have people that
if you don't
listen
chew
from
Big
out-
Red,
Yeah. Midwest. Yeah.
Sorry.
I got my Big Red little bracelet on there.
For the
my
Texans, it would
watch.
be just like a Hebe grocery
Hebe.
store.
Yeah, they're everywhere down here.
Hebe. The Hebe.
Is it Hebe or H-E-B?
HEB.
HEB.
You could
Okay.
call it heed though.
Hib.
It sounds like you got the hib. Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like you caught something.
Is that a Houston environmental boy? Is that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
I don't know. Yeah.
No,
Don't-
we don't want to go down that path.
weird.
We don't know where we're going to end up.
Too weird.
Opens up a wormhole.
What kind of
What do
time
we
you
want?
got tonight? That's for another podcast.
We got
Same thing
The-
as we
the
did
fresh
5
fresh
minutes
kicks.
ago. What do you
Well,
have?
I didn't hear about the fresh kick. I heard about Britt's and I heard about Erica's, but I didn't hear about Eric's fresh kick.
That's
Oh,
Oh, it's
yeah.
the same thing.
Britt and I
Oh,
are
it's the
drinking the
same
same
thing?
thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got
Eric
the variety.
Eric and I
pack.
are on the same page,
Yep.
and Dad's got the wine, and Erica's got her own style over there.
As always.
Whatever she.
Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
same here. So you and me in the same boat there.
So that's drink number 1. Then my drink number 2 of the summer is called Mermaid Lemonade. You put the blue curacao in the bottom, and then your rum of choice, and then fill the rest with lemonade. Super simple, super refreshing, kind of like a mojito without the mint,
but
almost.
but you have to drink it at the bottom of a swimming pool.
No, not necessarily. And then the one that I just made today was called
Yeah,
Buffalo Punch or something, or Buffalo.
Yeah, something like
Something.
that. Buffalo
Buffalo
punch.
butt breath.
Buffalo punch. I think you got that right. Buffalo's breath.
Sorry
Huh?
to say that.
Oh,
You can get belching beaver. You can
Again, if I can find drinks that I can make with Captain to spice it up a little bit, it makes my heart happy. It was Captain Morgan with pink lemonade and 7-Up. That was it. And it was very refreshing to have during the hot sunny day in the pool.
Speaking you making refreshing beverages, your sangria was
Oh, yeah,
That was
great.
good.
That was on point.
Yeah.
I did. I made fresh sangria, which has like wine of choice, red wine. I normally do a Pinot Noir just because. long.
We had to drink it.
It was hot.
So we ended up
Sangria.
Yeah.
getting it by dinner time, and it was superb.
And I
Very
made
good.
my world famous carbonara.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It
Yep.
is
Oh yes.
muy bueno.
Not the Cajun carbonara.
No.
We
Oh,
talked
come
about that.
on.
Yeah.
You'll
What's
never
that?
live that down.
Hold on. How many?
Eric-
How many cups of pepper?
Eric finally got filled in on that story. I don't know how
It
he
was
had
just
never
one.
heard.
Oh,
All
just
right.
just one
All
cup.
right, all
Just
right.
one cup.
So for our viewing listening to us right now,
One time I made a mistake.
there was one time Brian and I lived together, and this would have been 18 years ago by now.
And we're still talking
Oh, it's-
about it.
It was
Yeah,
two.
well, you might be right.
It was
You're right, you're right. It was
2002,
two-
2003. It was maybe 2004 or something.
Well,
right in there.
I got out of the military in 2003, so it would
There you
have
go. It was
been, like,
2003, so it was
2004.
darn near 17, 18 years ago. And
Jeez, you're
I
old, Ryan.
and I and
I know.
I knew this.
I know. See all the gray.
I knew this recipe by memory, and it's like a one, and it's 1 pound of sausage and one. So of course we had that amount of pepper in the
Yeah.
house, And so there were Brian and who else was over? Brian, one of the funeral directors was over. God, what I can't think of it. He still
Chris.
works for us. Chris, yeah. Chris was like, "Are you sure that it's that amount?" I'm like, "Yeah,
a
no, it's
lot
just
of
one and
pepper.
one and one and everything." And yeah, no, we threw it out. We didn't eat that,
It
but
was like two bites and you were done for. It was
yeah, I was like, "Whoa, Brit, poof." But I have.
I got so there's a drink I wanted to ask you.
Now
guys
he made
about.
it
Have you
last
guys-
night, and it was amazing. Let's
So-
clarify.
So
that.
let's
It was
clarify
probably
that.
his best.
I have
by far.
I have perfected the recipe to the fact where I use fresh parsley. I use fresh Parmesan cheese. I use 2 egg whites instead of just one. And yeah, it's just all the and even just better, fresher sausage, better, fresher ham. The better, fresher ingredients you can get, the better it's just going to be. So yeah,
It
fresh
was-
is fresh.
So
It was
you
muy
refined
better.
The recipe, and now is it the COVID carbonara? Is that what that is? You refined the recipe.
I guess I don't know, something like that. But it was
So-
it
so
was
have
even
you
good the
guys-
second time around.
It was legit.
There's a drink I had heard about, and people are asking. A ginger ale broth and to be like a refreshing, like if you like beef. But
Yeah.
I've got like friends asking, "Can you add alcohol to it?" Like
That was a little something we came up with down
I'd
at the
try it.
slaughterhouse.
Hey.
I,
I don't
I'd
know.
try it.
I don't know.
That sounds a little weird.
I might take a sip. That's about it.
Beef is
Ugh.
add a bouillon cube.
There you go.
The bouillon.
Right. Same difference, I guess. Ugh.
Yeah.
But anyway, our Italian night worked out pretty well.
Very good.
Carbonara and sangria.
Homemade garlic bread.
Homemade garlic bread, that was good too.
You know, I will say, because of this whole pandemic, you know, Nebraska changed their rules on mixed drinks to go, and I did a ton of those. And Proof here in Omaha.
All at one
Bri-
place. or-
Brian, don't confess to drinking and driving. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't. I mean, I just took them to go. I didn't say that I drank them in the car.
True.
Not that ever happened.
No,
Never.
So
never.
You got
but I
2,000
did
pounds.
Yeah, I did a
ton.
sangria from Proof, and their sangrias were top notch.
Well, Brian, the
Order
episode
wedges of fruit.
the episode we did not too long ago, didn't we have some stuff?
well-
One of the mixed drinks
Well,
was
it was-
the
so the
smoky.
Applewood.
Yeah, the
Applewood.
Applewood. Yeah.
That's some really good to go drinks.
Yes.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I heard the
nice plug.
Mai Tais are on point.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yes, they do.
And the blowfish.
Did you know
Yeah.
that they?
What's the
Brit, Did
blowfish?
you know that they have
It's a
grog?
punch.
It's a punch. Oh,
No,
you can't
I
go
did
wrong with
not.
punches.
I didn't. They have grog there at
Mhm.
that place.
Pacific Eating House has grog
Really?
They also have
Ooh.
fairy nectar on tap too.
On tap.
on tap.
On
Yes, they
tap.
do.
Dad was saying that when we all get back from vacation, we need to have a dinner at Pacific Eating House, and
Yeah, that'd be
For
nice.
sure.
or actually, I think
I wonder if
yanking
we
my
knew
arm up in the
somebody
air,
that
saying,
could
"Go
get the
twist my
party
arm."
room.
Yes, the
Yeah,
party room.
I wonder if we knew somebody. We can get the party room.
Yeah.
And we'll just,
I don't know.
Can we
Let's
call
work
somebody
on
and make
that.
a reservation? You got some connections?
Let's see what I can do.
All right.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
You were saying something about restrictions, though, Brian, when we kind of catch
Yes.
off.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I lost my train of thought on
Shoo,
that. So,
we
like,
kind of went sideways.
It's,
with
Are
that.
we-
it's
gonna get back
COVID.
on that?
You're losing your train of thought. It's a new problem they're having.
It's symptomatic.
Yes,
new
he now
symptom.
has one of the effects of COVID. He lost his train of thought.
Oh, it's all right.
has nothing to do that I've had a couple mixed drinks and a couple beers.
No. Perish the thought.
Eric and I are in agreement.
Oh, the kids-
basically they're living in there.
They did.
You
But
have to
it's
get
hot
out. You have to go to bed. You can't go to bed in the pool.
The
We're gonna take a
first-
break and drink a water.
The first
Right.
night we stayed here, I actually slept in the pool for about 2 hours.
He
It was
did.
very nice and enjoyable.
we were up a little late.
No
We're doing
joke.
some
Were you
drinking and-
levitating in the pool, just like
Well, so
floating, just-
Carly, I went to bed and Carly kicked me out of the room because I was snoring, and so I took it as an opportunity and looked down and realized I still have my swim trunks on, so might as well just jump in the pool. And I have deflated a raft to a point where like my whole body is in the water except for like my toes,
Your
hopefully.
nostrils.
my toes and my head. So it's like a headrest and just barely a footrest, and it's pretty darn comfortable. And so I sat in that for about 2 hours, and then rolled out of that, and then ended up doing swimming under the water for I don't know, half hour or so.
It's difficult when you roll out of bed and you realize you're in the deep, end.
Well, and I had randomly.
I'm a good swimmer.
I
fine.
randomly woke up in the middle of the night and I thought that it was the lady that slept here out in the pool, and I'm like, well, I guess. Like,
Now let's clarify that there is a separate house here.
yeah, like
with
a
this
pool
house.
house. It's a pool
She's
house.
not just sleeping in this
No.
house with us
Underneath
here.
where we are.
Talking about
talking about it in the morning, and Brett comes in and he goes, "Oh no, that was me sleeping in the pool." I'm like, oh, I should have come out and thrown something at you or
yeah,
something.
right? No,
Can
I
you
was just-
imagine it from her? Can you imagine it from her perspective? Like maybe
What?
she saw Brett and she's like, "Is somebody like?"
Is that dude
Are
sleeping in
they
the pool?
okay?
Is he dead?
Don't they?
Is he dead?
Well,
I thought
she-
there were enough beds in the house.
She wouldn't have. She would not have been able to see him. You would have had
Yeah.
to been above him or at the pool level, and she's down below the pool
Gotcha.
level. So, I legit thought it was her, and I'm like, I mean, if I had, I'd have to go in the middle of the night too if I wanted to go in the pool time. But yeah, I was just sitting there nonchalantly talking about it, and Brett walks in and he goes, "Oh, that was me in the pool."
It was a
was
very
sleeping,
it
and
was a
then-
very cool night. It was very breezy, and I was staring up at the. I mean, it felt like I was in warp drive. The clouds were going over at me like Mach 10.
Well, then he
Do
got
you know
in
how
trouble.
that feels?
Then,
yeah,
then he got in trouble.
Star Trek has taught me well.
Mom got mad at him.
Yeah, Mom's like, you should never sleep in the pool. You'll drown. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't drown. I'll be
Never
just fine."
realized at Mach 10 you were wet all over. It's really weird. Where that water comes from, I have no
Yeah.
idea.
But it was just a really breezy night, and the clouds were going fast. And it was a neat sight to see.
We have a new theory of the universe.
I'm not joking.
All right, go ahead, Brad. What?
I actually I was watching something with it was Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, and for those of you who don't know who that is, he's the owner of Tesla and SpaceX and all the stuff. And,
Was it the Rogue
but
experience?
they were talking about this Neuralink. Yes, exactly. So they were talking about the Neuralink thing that he's actually bringing out, and at first it's just going to help people with like muscular and neurological orders, and they got to talking about how there's this new theory out about how we live in a simulation and all that. And Joe Rogan was like, wouldn't it be interesting? Your brain is in a jar somewhere on a shelf, just taking this all in. And Elon Musk thought for a second, and he's like, well, technically your brain is in a jar. It's just we call it a skull. And he said, if you think about it, everything that your brain interprets is, everything you see, smell, taste, feel, all of that is electrical signals, and that's it. And he said that was the premise for the Neuralink, is we can actually take those electrical signals. Now that we know orders, we can add or subtract those electrical signals to the muscles so they work or don't overwork or whatever. And I was like, wow, that was a really interesting, profound little statement there. Our brain
it brings new
literally in
meaning
a
to
jar, we just-
sticking a fork in the light socket.
Wired, and
Yeah,
they figure out how to
wet wire. it.
wire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
wet
that's exactly
wire.
what he's.
That's what you're
Yeah, and
talking
they've-
about, where
and
you're
they've
hooking it
figured
into
it
your
out.
brain.
Yeah, they've.
You know,
Yeah, and they figured it out, and the initial stages is going to be for that. And he said, down the road, maybe we can help with, memory extension, and maybe down the road we can just, plug into the internet and download, just like in the Matrix.
Get
I
rid
don't
of-
know how to fly that helicopter, and now I do.
Get rid
know,
of
just 'cause
dementia
I-
as well.
Yeah, that's one of the neurological disorders that they're talking about.
yeah, but that's an update that you're going to not be able to say, I don't want it.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden you're going to be speaking Latin, and all
Or
those people are dead.
If
so
you
that's
want,
no good.
if you want to
Right.
experience this vacation, you need the new version of Adobe.
Right.
You're not seeing
You're-
all the
you're giving
colors.
You're giving a speech out in public, and oh, by the way, you have to reboot your system right
Yeah,
now because
yeah.
we just added an update.
Right.
And it will take 27 minutes for it to download.
Excuse
One
me,
of
folks.
12.
I'm gonna
Yeah, one of 12.
How we doing, Eric?
I'm empty.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's going on.
What?
Basilisk
Gaze.
from Cosmic Eye Brewing. It's black lager. I'm,
fancy.
I'm a
I
fan
know,
of
I'm
it actually.
noting.
It's really cool. Lagers typically are like your
I'm just sweaty.
every man's beer.
Oh,
It's
yeah, this
kinda
one.
like a lager.
These are sweaty
We
on
had
my
some of these, didn't we?
earlobes.
These were in the
not
first
yet.
pack, weren't they?
Nope.
No, that was the other ones. That was the red and blue ones.
Yes. But I left those in the house.
This one looks
I
pretty
need a
fancy.
fan.
Brian, I did not hear
You're all
any
this-
of what you just said, and I may have walked in the front off.
Pardon me.
Ooh, you got a dark one.
This is a lager.
A lager.
This is a black lager. It's called Gaze of the Basilisk.
Ugh, you guys have no hair.
Potter reference.
Us and no hair. Okay.
I'm
cool.
not saying anything right now.
You could shave your head.
Right.
It's up to you.
That'd go over super well.
I don't know.
No, it's completely unrelated to that.
My
Sorry,
wife
Brian,
my
I didn't
wife
mean to
asked me
cut
if
you
she
off.
shaved her head. I was like, hey, you know, you do you. You know, you want
Right.
to shave your head? Go for it.
Yeah, we grew up with Sinead
Didn't we do
O'Connor.
that on
We're
Star
fine.
Trek?
Yeah, not to that point. You know what I mean? You got to keep it kind of the way you and I cut our hair, Brian, a little long.
I don't think I will.
Get the
Uh,
mullet.
Brian, this will be an inside joke
Yeah,
later.
right. It will be.
Hey,
What you're drinking?
Yeah, what am I?
You wanna talk about this one because I've
they
talked
have
about the
so
last two.
many squished armadillos on the road down here in Texas that they just started scraping them up and turning them into hopadillos.
Hopadillos.
because they didn't hop out of the way in time.
There you go. That figures it
So
out.
Eric's
Is
gonna read it.
this another real ale? No, this is Carbach. Carbach Brewing
Yep.
from Texas. This one is the Hopadillo.
And it looks like
It's got a little hop that looks like an armadillo
yeah,
on the can.
with its tongue sticking out.
Yep, it's just an IPA. It's 6.
65 IBUs.
It's different.
It's different.
It's got something going on in there.
A
yeah.
little,
It must be the hops that they
black
use.
top
Different
and
kinda
rubber
hops in
tire
this thing.
sort of taste.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just got a little different.
You got a microphone.
You were talking about going at a certain speed a little bit ago.
Warp speed.
Warp speed.
Warp speed, yes. You're just before warp speed,
Yes.
and you're phasing in and out. When you
Yes.
hit warp speed, then you'll be wet all over.
Does that mean I'm warp-esque? Warpist?
Warp it.
I don't know.
Warp aesthetic.
Warplish.
Warp aesthetic.
Okay, guys.
Subwarp.
Okay.
Let's veer
I'll be
to
right back.
another subject.
Yeah. Well, I did
Bring it
want
up.
I did want to talk about that they're all taking down right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far into it, but I do think that by doing this, they're kind of erasing history, because like when you see a statue out in like a public park or in front of a Capitol building, you are kind of like taken back to old time. They're doing. I get it. You know, oh, they were slave owners. You know, oh, this and that. But here's it is. If you erase your history, you're not learning anything. So I think it's
One of my favorite quotes is, if you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it.
That's right.
right. So by taking these statues down, you're not going to learn about it, or you're not going
Well.
to remember it.
The question would be if they're really taking down, which it doesn't seem that they are. I think they're taking down statues of opportunity. So it's wherever there's a
Well-
statue, they take it down for taking it down, because a lot of the ones they're taking down were really working at, the whole thing, the whole premise that we think Black Lives Matters is talking about.
Well, and my question is are they doing this because that's what people did before, like taking down Fidel Castro's, statue and taking down
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein's
Yeah, we did
statue.
that.
So, like this is like a big remembrance thing, and it's on the news. And are they just like, oh, well, that's what they did before, so we should do that now? Like, I
Well,
just don't get the
they-
premise
there
of
doesn't
these
seem
things
to
that
be
have
There
been.
was a
There doesn't
Go
seem
ahead.
any rhyme or reason to which ones they're taking down, though.
Yeah, they're just taking
They're
them all
across
down.
the board.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's a statue, let's take it down. Even
so
like,
there was a
go ahead, Brian.
interesting article that I read. And they created a park, and they put all the statues in the park. That way you could remember, what had happened, which I thought was really interesting and something that I wouldn't mind doing. Britt and I actually had a talk a couple years ago. Well, it was more than a couple, 3 years ago, when all that was going on, the uprising there, and they were tearing down statues then too. And at the time, I was for some of the statues that they took down, and said as much on the podcast, and I've had time to reflect on that. And to me, like, I understand that people want to do that, but for me, I don't want to erase the history, and I understand that people are like, well, it still can be taught in the schools and all that, but why can't we not create a shrine? I don't want to do that. Let's create a memorial, so to speak, with the statues, and just put them there. Why can't we designate and make another park and put them there? Why can't we do the same thing that Hungary did?
Well,
To
and
me, that makes
it
a
makes
lot of sense.
it makes me think that if anybody did something wrong or bad, we should just forget about them. We should just
Statement that you learn more from your mistakes than you do from the things you do right. So even if
Right.
it is bad history,
Absolutely. I mean,
problem. It's to me, it's just whatever's convenient.
I guess where are they going to like these statues? I'm sure they were. Here's the of
Oh.
statues people took there down.
Some of them have been destroyed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, there's no putting them back up.
call me naive or
Yeah,
whatever,
put
but
underwater and.
in
yeah.
all honesty, how is a statue hurting anyone? A. And B, what is taking the statue down actually doing? Like,
I think.
Well, the
in
statue
in-
hurts somebody because they say, "Oh, well, that person was a slave owner, or that person was."
that's like walking down the street though, and someone else is walking next to you, and they hurt your feelings or piss you off, and it's like, oh, should you just wash them off the sidewalk because they upset you?
Yeah.
Like, it's a statue. Walk away from it. Go somewhere else. Go to a different park.
People's
like-
feelings are getting hurt a lot more nowadays, and that's
Yeah.
a bad thing. You know, oh, your feelings were hurt. Like, oh, do we need to coddle everyone all the time? I don't think that I need
With
to coddle
the
Like
with
I
the okay, with the introduction.
offensive to
Precisely.
anybody. I get that.
Perception is important, and if people think that this offends me and I'm gonna speak out about it, and I mean,
and you have your right to feel that way.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm just so I'm gonna put this out there. I'm not taking sides here because
Yeah.
I feel strongly, pretty strongly one way. People's perception comes into play, and they
I fly an American flag outside my house. I do.
Yep.
And I will continue to do that. And it seems like some of these people don't want to fly that American flag outside their house.
On the flip side of the coin, you know, there's no statues of Hitler in Germany, right?
No, well, that's,
Now that's a pretty big extreme,
Yeah.
right.
but
Right.
but
But
I
are we
mean,
going to write them out of the history books? Are we going to erase that? No, we need
No.
to learn from Hitler.
No,
We need
and-
to
Well,
learn
and
from
even-
the
I mean,
things
well-
he's done wrong.
Britt, I have specifically to that point. I mean, in Germany, they still have monuments to the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall is not up anymore, but
No.
there is still places where you can see where the Berlin Wall was.
Here's a chunk of the wall right here where
Yeah.
it stood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't take it all down. They left pieces up
Mhm.
that you could go and.
Not
This is
much,
it.
but yeah, and even some places it's just like a floor tile almost like
Talking about
exactly.
We're talking
Another-
about
yeah,
people. In history.
Well, all I know is I get it. I get it. Ugh.
I just wish that all this negative energy would like switch to positive energy and go into actually making a difference and doing something
Yeah.
good rather
Yeah.
than just complaining and crying
hatred.
about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the message got hijacked along the way.
And that's
Yeah.
not me trying to be like insensitive. That's just me trying to be productive rather than counterproductive.
Right. No, you're right.
Like, I don't know. I could talk all night about it, but you guys said you don't want to have your opinions swayed
No,
one
no,
way or the
no,
other,
no,
so I
no,
don't want to
no.
get like too far into, and I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be insensitive for
No.
other people's feelings.
We are not insensitive here on the show. We
right.
we
and
want
I'm-
to care to all people, but it seems I don't know.
Everything is sensitive.
It's you tread lightly by some people. You're just like you
Which
know.
is crazy because all these sensitive people have all of their opinions and everybody is supposed to be sensitive to them. But then when you have your opinions that seem to counteract with that, then you're
They get
being
in the
insensitive.
defense.
It's
So
like,
don't stray from your morals.
right.
Follow your
And stop making such a big deal out of little things. Not saying that a lot of these things aren't little, but there are some of those things that are little, and there are some of those things that are big. And I feel like we need to focus more on being positive than negative. And right
Yeah.
that too. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know
And
if
we've
Drink
talked a
Talk's
lot
ready
about
for
on
that.
how media bias and how it's separating people and all that.
Yes, absolutely.
We've,
I mean,
we've talked on that for sure.
um,
But
it's separating people to the fact that
to
they
bring some positive into it, though, Britt, I should
Go ahead. I was gonna totally take it the other way.
I-
Go
I
for
was
it. The
gonna say,
positive. Please, thank you.
to bring it. Yeah, no, yeah, I'll bring some positive. I think for the next vacation, we should all visit Chaz and see.
Yeah.
See how things are.
Brian, I
See how-
totally was gonna bring up,
Sport.
but actually they've renamed
Yeah,
it.
you
It's
should.
they renamed Chaz. It's
It
now
is.
Chop.
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 Now
Yeah.
it's Chop Suey or
Do you-
Chop or whatever you want to call
I,
it.
I got my passport. Like,
The-
When you
All
leave
right.
the country.
yeah.
I'm very confused on Seattle. So, if you guys that are listening don't know the story about Chaz or Chop, which hilarious,
Stands for Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
right? And
which
I
is-
have
yeah,
no
renamed
idea
to
what
Chaz.
Chop means now. At Chaz, because it was Chaz first, now it's Chop. Chaz did was they established a border to their community. So
that was
they
like the first thing.
put
they
up they moved barriers that
Yeah,
were
put up
road
walls.
construction barriers, and they put up a wall.
Yeah.
Now, while I don't agree with maybe what they're attempting to do, that's a pretty bold security move, and it makes a lot of sense.
You know,
Logical.
it's
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 logical.
pretty in the Capitol building and a police station. That's pretty ballsy. Like, I don't wake up tomorrow and go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take over a part of this city that's been it's government owned, but you know what? I'm going to own it now. It's my land. I'm going to plant a flag in the ground and claim this land for Spain. Weird. But they did plant a garden, so they're going to make some money off of that garden here in a couple
Yeah.
months.
Good luck on that.
Get some food going.
Get some food going.
You know, what about those other people that are there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
have a
business
business
owners
in
and
there.
What
people
if, what
live
if
there,
you
yeah.
run a business inside the Chop?
What if you live inside
What
the
if
Chaz?
you
What if you got an
live-
apartment inside of Chaz?
I mean, yeah,
You go,
Chop.
hey,
Chaz, Chop.
hey, I didn't sign up for this. Can I get out? Because you got to wonder, like, so now that Chaz is his own society and its own nation, do we have?
I think the utilities, yeah, they
I mean,
belong to the
city,
taxpayers.
The city gets billed for the electricity that the streetlights are.
These belong to the people
Yeah.
who pay.
$400,000 a month.
You get that right next to the garden. Dig a well.
Exactly.
Big grow a money tree.
Big grow a money tree. There you go. For sure.
That's probably part of their demands.
Brian, I'm glad you brought up
There's
Chaz.
nothing else that's kind of entertaining to follow this. No,
You know, it is.
It's
It
fun.
is.
It's weird,
sure.
and like, all right, we all don't know anybody that lives in
Yeah.
Seattle, so like, we don't know all what's going on, and we're getting this all from the media. Some sources are good, and some sources are bad. So, we won't cross that bridge right now. But like, these people decided to march into the city and take it over. I just think it's so odd.
Or the fact
Yeah.
that the city allowed that.
Oh, yeah.
I heard Starbucks is catering.
Starbucks is catering to them.
Is that fake news or not? I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Anything's
They
possible.
do have to-go mugs. I
Well,
mean,
here's the problem. So this area that's gotten taken over by Chaz and or Chop now, you're not going to have any. To being Seattle, all one piece. Do you think that they're going to want to go? You know what? Let's rebuild there. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Does it go from the autonomous zone to the dead zone? I don't know.
You all right, sis?
I'm perfectly fine. Eric's like, I can hear you breathing. I'm like, that's not me. Just because the microphone's on my throat
it could
doesn't
be.
mean you can hear me breathing.
It could be me.
That's me.
I am your
breathe heavy.
father.
11 o'clock this morning. I am a little tired.
I know.
They got palm.
Day drinking.
Hey, they got palm
awesome.
trees here.
Hey, Brian, there's a pool in the backyard. Day drinking is
Yeah.
acceptable here.
I'm just a
Yeah,
little
perfectly
tired.
allowed, for sure.
On day
You're out of your zip code. It's
Yes.
allowed.
Day 4 of drinking most of all days since
Hey,
we've been here.
we found a toll-free way to Texas.
A
No, we
toll-free
didn't.
way.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Call a
did.
helicopter.
We didn't.
Oh.
We didn't pay any tolls.
Well, we will in a couple months.
Oh
Oh
shoot!
yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah, that damn express lane.
Yeah, just
Yes.
zip right on through there. You don't need a
Yes. And
little
it's like-
beacon on your
it's under
car.
It's
No
under
problem.
construction, so it's like, oh, turn, no, yeah, I can't go back now.
Take the express lane. They're
You
all
got-
going quick through there.
That's hilarious. You guys took the express lane.
Dude. Yeah, well,
we
you
took
know.
the expressway last time too, and I got a ticket, and there was a picture of it.
Flip the
And I'll
camera
flip
off.
the camera off.
That'll help.
So here's
we're-
Erica going through the
Yeah.
camera, and here's me.
You're going to love that ticket in France.
I'm going to charge you $50, but
About that.
It will be when we get it in the mail with the picture.
well, no, that's a pretty
And
good
for
deal.
sure,
'cause
like
I-
that's like a.
it cost
that's a
us
Hallway
$5,
worthy
didn't
picture.
it?
Well, but yeah, like we tried to avoid like the what is that 70 that goes through Kansas?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did like
it's
some
Oklahoma.
back
Or, yeah.
back way and got stuck in kind
Yeah.
of like a half
Kansas,
storm.
you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, you do.
Kansas, no, Kansas, you got to.
Maybe I got it backwards.
Yeah,
It
it's
was like-
Kansas. You pay. Oklahoma.
You running over toads?
It reminded me of like
Oh,
the
Erica.
Ozarks.
Protect life.
I tried.
All lives matter.
I have-
Toads' lives matter.
Legit, I have never seen more wildlife in my life on road trips combined
Well,
than I did on our road trip down here this time.
None of the wildlife could pay the toll either, so they had to be on that road.
There was coyotes, there was deer, there was raccoons, there was possums, there was cats, there was toads, and
None
I
of that, Brian.
avoided
None
I
of that.
avoided all of them but the toads because there were so
When was that?
many.
When was that I came down to
You guys bring
Oklahoma
a
on that
camper?
hog hunt?
No, they didn't,
No,
no.
not.
That was in February.
Yeah, so I was down in Oklahoma in February. Yeah, I wasn't. Tolls again.
I am not going on that one.
I'm sorry, Brian. What did you say?
Sadly.
I said you me we need a drink talk excursion.
Dude,
Yes.
Yeah.
we've been saying that for
I
over a
concur.
year.
Yeah, just leave your sister out again.
Yes,
Be
we
great.
have.
And this would be drink talk from the
Come
camper,
on,
and
you're
everybody's
here
all
now.
swished together.
This is a guys.
It's my
this is-
camper too.
It's a sweet.
This is a guys.
Everyone is silent.
this is a guys.
And
And yeah.
It's like a guys outing.
Thanks. I know growing up with brothers sucks that I have no sisters to, like, you know.
So-
hang out.
and then it had a speed limit. So I think I was doing 90 no 80 85 no 85 and a 65 no
in a crosswalk.
Carry the
He
two.
was speeding.
I was speeding and I was doing 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. I was so that's reasonable, like if you do 5 they're probably not going to pull you over, but 20 yeah they're going to pull you over. So like about that. He's like, I'm what you taking? I said, that's fine.
Get that dog out of here.
Anyway, he writes me the ticket, and I sign the ticket, and then he hands it over to me. And I really wasn't looking at the ticket at the time, but as soon as I signed it and he gave it back to me, and he's like, "Well, you can go on your way," you know. And I was just about to leave. I noticed the ticket was only $20. It's $1 for every mile an hour you're over the speed limit.
If you're gonna speed,
Here's my thing. I was like, I'm not gonna be in Montana anymore because I'm heading back to my hometown. So like, how can I mail this in? He's like, yeah, no. Right at the bottom of the ticket, you mail it in. He's like, you can write a check to me if you need to. I'm like, what? Hold on. I can pay you cash, or I can write you a check. He's like, yeah. I was like, hang on a second. I went in, I wrote him a check. I'm like, who do you make the check out to?
Yeah.
And Montana State Police. I'm like, Montana State Police. I'm like, I was like, $20 for every mile an hour he goes through it.
Did that-
I am gonna fly through Montana every time I go.
Did that check
I'll go
clear?
50 miles an hour with the speed limit now.
Yep.
Did your check clear?
Yeah, my check cleared. Of course it did.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's called
As a
Get-
motor
being married.
I was say sorry.
could be a plane. We're kind of close to the airport over
Nah,
here,
them
Brian.
planes are loud here.
What planes? I don't hear anything with these on.
I don't know.
Brian,
Brian, how we doing over there?
are you doing invisible crafts?
Are you
Yes.
are you putting on hand sanitizer? What are you doing over there?
Nothing up my sleeve or even up my hand.
And look, there goes my hand.
Watch me dematerialize.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whoa, that was kind of actually pretty darn good.
Ooh,
The old invisible hand trick.
so fancy.
There are I probably have I've been having too much fun hanging out in the pool. So sorry that I haven't been able to get with you guys.
We'll be back. For a few days and leaving, and unfortunately I'm staying and taking care of all the animals.
You do have a lot of animals.
Yeah.
And guess what, Brian? Erica confessed to me that she wants more of them.
Yeah, and so, and then Brian, after I get back from Yellowstone, I'm back for a week, and then I leave again for 2 weeks.
Yeah, there
Army
goes
games.
summer.
So like literally, I work 6 days in July. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. And you know, you did a little work today. I think you were on your computer.
I
for
was on my
like
computer.
15
Well,
minutes.
I did like a few hours of work on Monday, so
Yeah.
I
we're
think
all
that
right.
was yesterday.
Yeah,
All the
whatever.
days are kind of blending
They
into
are.
each other.
They are. All I remember is the pool.
Was that Tuesday? Was that yesterday? When did we make that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Were we in the pool?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we were in the pool.
We were in the pool.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've been trying to make the pool colder.
Yeah.
Dad
Oh, there goes his head.
7-1.
I thought it would be
Stepping
nice.
it up.
It would last for a while. Maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and it was gone. Oh well, it was a
just-
thought.
FYI, side note,
Side note.
for people who are watching live and it's spotty or really
Pardon me.
or you're hearing burping instead
turned
of
Yeah.
away.
words.
I turned away.
That was a bird.
But they do end up
Pterodactyl.
going through this and launching it on iTunes as their podcast for Drink Talk, correct?
Thank you, Erica. We iTunes, Google Play Music, and Spotify. If you want to sit back and actually listen to us, you will get the live feed, and it'll be full length. And
It won't be spotty.
why he
There
is
would be
cracking
no
up over here.
broadcast.
Everything will be included.
Yes. You won't get to see everything, but you
Totally
will be able
lost
to
it.
hear everything.
I'm sorry. I
I
derailed.
didn't
Jeez,
see.
babe.
I
You know,
derailed.
You know, guys,
Go figure, my husband.
some of the
interrupts.
people who are watching this are actually sober right
Drink. Yeah, watching Drink Talk. This is. Don't do that.
I said it was a
The Phantom Bride, Brian. That is very. You know what? Pound for pound,
It's
not
another
pound for
Belching
pound,
Beaver.
punch for punch. Belching Beaver. That is, you get that in Tall Boys in a 6-pack for like $9.
Where's
It's
Belching
like
Beaver?
the best.
Where's Belgian
It's-
Beaver again?
You get 6 Tall Boys for $9.
Yeah, but where's that brewery at? Can we go
Yeah,
there?
I don't know where Belching Beaver is from.
Let's
though.
go to
So
Belching
where do
Beaver.
you where do you buy it
Well,
from?
I'm guessing Beaver Crossing. I don't know.
Let's
Where do
take
you
the
buy the
camper
beer from?
to Belching Beaver.
It's the best bang for your buck.
It's from Oceanside, California.
Let's not take the camper.
Change that.
Yeah, just scratch that.
But
We'll
where
fly
did,
over in an airplane.
Yeah.
Brian, did you get that at the beer, wine, and spirit place though?
I did indeed.
Okay. Sometimes I like to buy my husband beer.
But yeah, no, Erica, let's
She
go back
loves
to
me.
what you were just saying. You can find this on iTunes Play Music or iTunes, Google Play Music, and Spotify.
Yes.
You know, you can't watch it, but you can listen to it. And put on no big deal. And he was zooming in and out of stuff. He'd get turn, and I'm like, well, there's 5 cars beside me. And man, I was just Mario Andretti. I was
If you have an inch, you're
laid on these. And I'm like, okay,
"Thank
cool,
you."
there you go.
Thank
Well,
you
once
very
you
much.
laid on your horn, he knew that you knew he was there and coming
Right.
over. So
You saw
didn't
him.
matter.
Yep.
Oh man.
I am now drinking Woodchuck Hard Cider Amber.
If a woodcut could chuck wood,
Yeah, here we
In
go.
all honesty, I got this because a 3-pack of
That was
these.
sad, Britt. That was sad.
it was
We're
sort
not-
of sad.
No.
Do it again.
So
Okay, so
if a wood chuck wood,
how much wood would a woodchuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
there you go.
He has
And he's
yeah.
already forgotten.
He's looking. Well, he's looking.
7.1.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, 7%,
hey,
that's what I-
ditto.
Nobody's
ditto.
asked me
Where's
what
the
my
7.1?
alcohol content
Where-
is.
You're
We're-
drinking vino, and
Wow.
hey, are you finishing
Jinx.
the DV? Have you finished that? Or
I
you
did
probably
finish that. I finished that this
He
afternoon.
finished that
was
with
very good.
breakfast. He finished that with
That was-
breakfast.
I had that with eggs and bacon.
Well, it was.
I had the first drink of the day. Dad had the second drink of the day.
So Brian, to fill you in, we had a BV at the middle part of or towards the end of our meal, kind of right when we received our entrees, and there was some leftover nice wine, and they wrapped it up super nice and like a present almost. And Dad left it out on the counter, and Kylan's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Not for you."
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said,
Well,
"That's the leftover wine from last night." She's like, "Okay, fine, okay."
Well,
She knows better.
Yeah, but she goes, "What's that?"
The
It's
one you
like a
made,
present.
The sangria.
If
the
this one,
sangria, because she was.
Ale
Nerd.
company. This is called the Axis, and it's got a big giant deer
it's
head
got a
on
picture. Yeah, it's got a picture of an axis.
big-
Well, it's supposed to be an
Antelope,
axis deer,
cantal-
but
I don't
it's
know.
it's a deer.
It's a
but
deer.
Cantaloupe, one of
it.
those.
7.1%.
Texas, you can hunt all kinds of wildlife inside fences. It's stupid.
So Brian, cheers.
A cheers.
Is that like
Cheers.
Allied in access?
Cheers.
Access for me?
No, this is real ale again.
I'm okay with it.
I
I will drink that some more.
Okay.
I like
I
that a lot.
like it a lot.
I will say
There's a big
this is our.
difference between the beavers that I had. 'Cause
Oh, Brian,
the-
there is a vast difference between the first one you had and the one that you have now.
This makes you
Yeah, that
respect that,
Hazer's gonna
hopadillo
haze
a
is
little bit.
like super crisp and clean.
well, the
this one's a little
Hazer's gonna
funky,
haze
which I
is
like.
also like $7 more, or not, maybe not seven, maybe $5 more, but still, it's more than $9.99.
Right.
I'd say it's almost double. You probably bought that for about $21 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, but this
Yeah,
this
I'm
this
kinda
really
on point.
this kind of makes you respect that hopadillo a little bit.
That-
hopadillo was bitter.
We're
going.
See where we're going.
We're
We're
going.
going Space Mountain.
We watched. We,
I'm just like
Now,
everybody.
John Cusack,
most
Kiefer
of them
Sutherland.
were unknown at the time.
Right.
Now they're all.
Yeah.
Well, and the music in it too. You know, it just
Oh yeah.
you sit there and watch, and you just you never have the friends that you had when you were 12 years old. Never. God, who does? You know, it's like
There's a few.
there's a few that come in your life, and you're just like, you feel like they've been around since you were 12 years old. There's a few, but there are like
Okay, raise your hand if you have friends from the 6th grade. Okay, so do I.
I have probably 8 of them
Yeah,
that I can talk to right now.
not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Well,
I did.
You grew. You brought us up in Ponca Hills, in
Yeah, a little house on the prairie. So,
Aw.
Well, it's good.
Brian would like to be a little bit sunburned right now.
I'm just glad you're here, Brian.
Dude, I haven't
Right?
seen. I have
I
not
know.
seen you like live
Hmm?
or in person in months.
What was the old robot guy for like Pepsi commercials with the slick hair?
Max Headroom.
Max
Oh,
Headroom.
Max
Brian's
Headroom.
Max Headroom right now.
Yeah. They downloaded his
you
conscious
kinda,
to the
with the
computer.
monitor and the stuff with the back.
Yeah,
Max,
there it is.
Brian's Max Headroom.
Yeah, that's right.
And that grenade on your shirt.
I'd say with a grenade.
It does.
It's definitely not a heart.
It's
Yeah.
not a heart. Not whatsoever.
Pull the pin.
Right.
Right.
Do we cut it right now and we just? I think we have a conversation afterwards and just chat.
Yeah. We don't need to go back down that tunnel, but there are some things out there in this world that we have talked about tonight that need fixing. And unfortunately, we're not going to solve them tonight, but hopefully in the near future, they do get solved. I
And-
hope that.
Not on vacation.
And my sister is
No,
on.
vacation.
I'm surprised she hasn't texted me 42 times. Oh, wait. I don't have my phone with me. That's probably it.
She's been on for like an hour.
Oh. Hi, Mitzi.
Perfect. Anyway,
I
Brian, you
filtered-
want to start off?
I'm here from Omaha, Brian, drinking on. I did the smoke. What did I start with? Like cold smoke. I did the Belching Beaver. I did the Cosmic Eye.
Oh, Brian, you're too
And,
good. I'm not going to go that far.
it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Don't have the cans in front of
And
me.
I played Invisible here.
Yeah.
With the background, so it's been a lot of fun. But it's been interesting, actually, video conferencing into the podcast. So
Let's work on
kind of
fresh
a
take.
new foray into
And then we're on to the Axis from Real Ale.
IPA.
So
They're all
local-
IPAs.
They're all IPAs from
We're
Texas,
IPA lovers around here.
and doing some local brew.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm Britt.
Joel got single vineyard, 13.9.
I
but
went from
who
like
cares
a
about
Scotch ale
that?
to IPAs to black.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I went Glacier Till craft cider, the passion pineapple, to Not Your
I
Father's
do.
root beer, to Woodchuck hard cider amber, and back to my Not Your Father's root beer that I had to filter because Britt broke the top, and I
Oh.
was hoping not to swallow glass.
You're
Really?
welcome.
What do you filter that through?
The,
Hopefully
Cheesecloth.
one of his socks.
No, you wouldn't want to go there.
No.
no, we're good. There was none in there. I used a little like tea filter.
I gotta give a
Ah.
shout out
Not
really
Mom's.
quick though
Oh.
to Britt for setting all this up. I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
spent all afternoon setting
Oh,
this
yeah.
studio.
Not
to
a
see up-
afternoon, about 2 hours.
Okay, but I mean, like
I
I
two
feel
and a half
like it
hours.
was
you
longer
you
than
walked
that.
you walked away from all the fun to do this.
And,
I
other,
did.
and other than the 8-block brownout, this all came together perfect.
You did?
and Brian, it's good to see you, bro.
It is good to see you, Brian.
It
We'll
is.
keep chatting here in a minute.
Yep, exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at Drink Talk. We will catch you on another episode, hopefully time soon.